Hi everybody, Neil Solon's with you to take a look at the most recent Rays trade. Of course, they made a big deal sending Matt Garza to the Cubs, and while that should impact the Rays positively in the long term, perhaps even in the short term with Jeremy Hellickson moving in more than likely to the Rays rotation, let's take a look at how the Durham Ball Club may be impacted during the course of the year, because many of the key pieces from that trade probably may spend some time in the Bull City during the course of 2011. We start with Robin Chirinos. Certainly he's one of the older players who was acquired in the deal, but a guy who's kind of a late bloomer because he was recently moved to catcher. He had double digits in home runs last year between Double and Triple A, is expected to compete for a backup spot, fighting with Kelly Shopik and along with John Jaso at the big league level, but certainly could see himself catching in Durham during the course of the 2011 season as well. Probably one of the more likely players to end up with the Bulls is Brandon Guyer. He had a terrific season in Double-A. He was rated the top hitting prospect in the Cubs organization. He hit nearly .350 last season, and because he's versatile, he certainly fits the kind of outfielder the Rays look for, and he's a guy who very well could start his first season in Triple-A in 2011. And probably a name that's familiar to locals is Chris Archer, because he went to Clayton High School. Chris is considered the top pitching prospect that the Rays got back in the deal, and he should more than likely start the 2011 season in Double-A since he didn't spend a whole lot of time there. But one would anticipate, even though the Rays have a lot of pitching prospects, that there's certainly a possibility that Chris Archer could spend some time in Durham in the 2011 campaign. The last piece that was acquired in the deal in terms of guys who are minor league players is Hak-Ju Lee, who is the young shortstop that could be a shortstop of the future for the Rays. Of course, Reed Brignac expected to start this season, a former Bull for Tampa Bay, and Jason Bartlett traded to San Diego. But Lee is a guy who played last year at the low A level and would anticipate playing in A-ball this year, but probably a couple seasons from now we very well could see him in Durham. And the last piece of the puzzle that was acquired in this 8-player deal for Matt Garza, Fernando Perez, and Zach Rosscup, who's a minor league pitcher, is Sam Fuld. Fuld is out of options, and one would anticipate he'd have a good chance to make the big league roster. Certainly he has to. The only way he would appear in Durham is if he were to pass through waivers. There are two outfielders that the Rays have. One who is Fuld, and the other Justin Ruggiano. Ruggiano, a former Bull, who are both out of options. So certainly those are two guys who may be competing for some of the final roster spots for the Rays this season. As we progress during the course of the winter, we'll take a look at some other moves the Rays make and how they may impact the 2011 Durham Bulls.